The Radio Wammo Breakfast.
The voice of the creative economy.
With Vincent Heeringa.
Yes, from the HB Media stable, idealog.co.nz. Hello to you, Vincent.
Good morning, Wammo.
And
Very international this morning.
Very international.
You're an export industry in your own right.
I'm trying to export the New Zealand product, the Kiwi product, get it around the place, get it heard. But this morning using the Twit vehicle and hello to the Twit audience. Nice to have you along and experimenting with Kiwi FM this morning. Very cool.
Quite an amazing thing. It's completely transformed. Well, I can't say it's transformed my life, but it's I enjoy it. Because
you've got an account, but you haven't been engaging a lot. But have you been browsing? Is that what you do?
I browse a lot, and I also we as staff we tweet under our brand. So Stop Press and Idealog and Good, we all contribute to that. I haven't really personally championed it because I'd rather push our brands than me.
Right. Yep. Fair enough.
Is that a bad thing?
Well, no. It depends on just what works for you, I suppose. There's no hard and fast rules, really.
I'm so boring. I have nothing to say. I'd rather let my magazines do the talking.
Right. Well, that was Vincent Heeringa this morning. Moving right along. There's nothing to say.
Oh, we've run out of honey puffs this morning.
Oh no, it's pretty dire at the Heeringa household, is it?
It is indeed.
Yeah.
Now, what are we talking about? Science. Last night, the Prime Minister gave out a whole bunch of science awards to scientists, science communicators, and teachers. Interesting awards. Interesting that the Prime Minister would sort of single out individuals like this, and in the past, awards such as this are typically sort of given to teams or made sort of more like a contestable fund that you could apply to. But this is just like the hand of God reaching down and tapping a scientist and science-related professionals on the shoulder and giving them a whole bunch of money.
And how much money are we talking about here?
Oh, hundreds of thousands.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. No, big prizes. And it's based on the philosophy that the Prime Minister comes from the North Shore, and he's a part of the North Shore tribe. So that's all about merit.
Yeah.
You've done individual merit. You deserve your reward.
Good on you.
Now, none of this kind of teamwork rubbish.
Yeah.
Of the previous administration.
Oh no, that's socialist stuff.
Well, it's just all about namby-pamby, isn't it? We're about rewarding individuals. So, it has its place. But great to see Jeff Talon, who is a very interesting man doing research into he's a physicist. He does his interests range widely from nanotech to new materials, but magnetism is mostly his thing.
But does this fund support success already?
Yes, it does.
So is that the problem here, though? I mean, that's a good thing, obviously, but at the same time, what happens to the people who are just starting out or need some assistance to pursue a particular project, but they haven't had the success yet?
Yes. Well, there's never enough money to go around. We always know that. But the argument has been, and there's a recent change in the way science is going to be done in New Zealand. The argument at the moment amongst the science community is that there is too much chopping and changing of funding. So there's too much contestability. There's too much people having to every year or every 2 years reapply to get their funding. And what a lot of people are saying is that what we should be rewarding is excellence, whether it's and not sector specific. So in the past, the government has said, look, we really want to pursue, I don't know, biotech or something, and there's a movement now within the funding community to really push sort of excellence, which does mean rewarding people who are already on their way.
Yeah. So, is that going to be an issue going forward, do you think?
Yes and no. I do think that you want to reward young talent, but one of the people awarded the science award was a 28-year-old scientist, and also there was a young student scientist, a teenager, was awarded a science prize. So I think there's merit on both arguments, but one major change that's just happened is we have these things, Crown Research Institutes. Not many people know what they are, but they are largely government-funded research organisations that things like ag research and GNS, which is the Geological and Nuclear Sciences. So they are not universities, they're research institutes. And in the past, until last week even, there's a major report about the way their mission is about to change. They have got this kind of dual role where they're supposed to develop their own intellectual property and their own businesses as kind of standalone businesses, but then they also are supposed to create science that can be used by industry. So, for instance, they will work on a new strain of kiwi fruit, like the yellow, for instance, has come out of what used to be hort research, and that gets given to industry, and industry develops it. But the major change that's happened, Wammo, just to really summarise it quickly, is now, instead of developing their own businesses and their own balance sheets with their own IP, their mission in life is to create intellectual property that then gets given, if you like, to industry to develop.
Right.
So it's actually what goes around comes around. We're moving back in some ways to a model from the 60s with the old DSIR.
Oh, the old DSIR. What happened to that? That turned into hort research, didn't it?
It turned into 9 Crown Research Institutes, of which there are now 8.
Yeah.
So, things do come back again, don't they?
Yeah.
There was a time when all the hospitals were being separated. Now they're all being reunited again.
Yeah. Cutting down on that bureaucracy.
Well, that's the idea.
Yeah.
That's the idea. And I actually think the shift in the Crown Research Institutes is laudable. And it was a report produced by a businessman, a very well-respected businessman called Neville Jordan, and I certainly hope the government do what he suggested in his task force report.
Well, thanks, Vincent, for highlighting that for us this morning. Really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Vincent Heeringa, you can find him blogging at idealog.co.nz and also check out the magazine, Good Magazine, NZ Marketing, stoppress.co.nz and all the other websites as well.